Hey folks, this is Totally and welcome to some more game dev. Here today with Drixy.
Hey guys.
Today we're going to be doing the same thing we've been doing the last few weeks. Honestly, the past week, just doing more cutscene stuff. Drixy's going to be working on some art in the background.
Yeah.
But I'm going to mostly be focused on my perspective. Hopefully not covering too much, but we should be fine. So where are we at? Let's bring up Balsamic. So week one of my 4-week vacation is continuing at a pace. We did some cleanup stuff on Monday off camera. Tuesday we did a stream adding attack of opportunity systems. And then Wednesday when we last left off, I had done some cutscene stuff. Although the stream, I couldn't get the stream working, so that ended up being a video that I recorded and then uploaded. Over the last few days of holidays, I have been continuing to work on cutscenes. That is taking a fair amount of time, and I think will continue to take time. I think today I'll probably continue with the Demon Castle cutscenes and just cleaning those up and making them a little bit more. And then I think, Drixy, you're going to be planning on working on just general art cleanup?
Yeah, just little things we've kind of pointed out during our replays. Like I was warming up by doing a little animation of a little sneak or a little rodent that's going to tuck in and out of the bushes. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Just something simple.
Just add a little bit of extra flair to the environments.
It's amazing what some motion does.
100%. All right, let's take a look at where we're at. So I'm going to run through where the game's currently at, and let's see where the cutscenes are. We did a fair amount of work. Oh, this is also the big thing. I'm gonna go full.
Big thing.
Drixy's been working the last few days on a revamped version of the title art.
It's pretty awesome.
You know what? We should start here because I need to move the buttons over to the other side because currently the layout we have is covering hero as well as part of the environment. So we're going to move all the buttons to the left. So we're actually going to do that, and then we'll jump into cutscenes. But yeah, Drixy worked real hard to refine kind of the initial concept that we've been using for a year plus now, and trying to make something that is a little more consistent with our palette, and a little less busy, I think is what we ended up going with.
Yeah, definitely toned down the sky and made the focus on the impending threat to society.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, in a situation you should be more focused on.
Now the question is, where does that even live? Which component? Is that part of the HUD? No. Oh, it's the boot screen. Yeah, this one. So we should be able to grab this whole section of buttons.
Why do an isometric snake?
And move those over to here. And then we just need to grab these two. And they don't want to line up. We're gonna go 2D mode. Whoa, that zoomed in. And then we're gonna use the edge of the screen as like almost like a ruler to shift these over. Actually, can I hold shift? If I hold shift, will it snap them? It will. So it won't move up and down. And I think that is about the same position. It may not be exact, but it should be close enough for our purposes for today. So then we can go back to the boot screen and hopefully the buttons should be shifted over. And zoom that back in. Better. Not better?
Not better?
No, the Discord button is missing now. Is it just off camera? Oh, it looks like they're both positioned in the same spot for some reason. In fact, we can just go to the boot screen prefab too. Yeah, these look like they should be right. This is in the correct spot, and this is in the correct spot. Oh. What happened there?
Don't think I need eyes on this.
If this doesn't work, I'm going to move on. Because the buttons being correct on the screen isn't the biggest deal. Yeah, Discord has somehow like overlapped with YouTube, and I'm not sure what I've done to create that scenario. So I'm just going to move on. So cutscenes, let's take a look at those. That's been my primary focus and what I will continue to focus on here. We need to disable some debug logic, combat test. We will disable this object so that we don't have all of the abilities on by default. All right, new game. So we've added the black bars in to try and make things feel a little bit more cinematic. This is some tech I had a while ago that just ended up getting turned off for a long time.
It's good tech though.
I really like the way it feels. It does start to break down once we get some of the UI components in. It works better here when the UI is basically non-existent early in the game. But I think I should be able to find a solution for that. Then we enter into this area, another cutscene. I worked to try and get this set up. I think this was in the video that I recorded. I think most of this was covered, but I don't quite remember where I stopped recording and how much further we got, but ended up building quite a bit of new tech in order to kind of get some of these ones up and running. Some different ways of navigating between tiles, and also just kind of playing with the entering and exit tech. So now we can have a cutscene actually trigger the exit, so we see the exit happen. And then I've also been playing around with refining the enter and exit, because there was sometimes a bug where Hero would slide off of camera, and we have now fixed that, so that it is using the same system as moving through tiles. Before it was kind of fake moving and animating the character off screen, but now it's actually moving Hero off the screen. You can't see it there, but and now it should be more consistent. There is still a problem with an alpha clipping with the edge of the world. We're going to fix that by just baking the kind of edge shadow into the floor texture instead of having it be a transparent prop. Because when Hero is transparent and that is transparent, sometimes there's some clipping, so that's a weird bug. But again, we have a solution. And then this is the big cutscene that I don't think I've shown on camera. I've been working on this one the last few days, trying to get this to feel right. Whoa, that is a new way of being broken. I had not seen that bug. The whole world got fogged. Interesting.
The whole world got fogged?
Yeah, the whole area that we had started in got broken.
That is definitely a new one for the records.
Interesting. I'm gonna see, I think that's probably to do with the exit. No, it'll be the enter scene. I think when we have the NPC of the goddess, which will swap out to be a guard NPC at some point, walk in, it is breaking. Yeah, because we do a reveal board intro. I want this to be a player-only ability effect. So if the AI triggers this ability to enter the scene, this reveal the board shouldn't happen. Arguably, I don't think any of the resetting of the fog stuff should happen either. I'm going to try moving all of this to be underneath the reveal board. And we mostly just want this part. Yeah, let's give that a shot. we will go directly to Demon Castle Room 2 and see if that cutscene's still broken. I wonder if it could also be an issue with that cutscene being broken because we entered and exited the room a few times. I had not done that, so it could be a bit more of a complex issue to track down. Regardless, it looks like it's fixed when we start directly from the room. Yeah, so these characters which we're using the goddess model will eventually be replaced with something else. I suppose we could try replacing it with the Demon Lord General, the ogre character for the time being. That would at least feel more
ogre
correct.
Is so handsome.
Okay, well...
He is the prettiest lad.
We're going to agree to disagree on that one.
How about my snake? What do you think of my snake?
So then we're going to grab this ogre. You want me to take a look at your...
Look at my little lad. He's just doing a little dance. I think his eyes need to be more poppy.
I don't know if that's going to work.
I don't know either. I'm going to test it. Because I don't really know how ISO the snake has to be. After a little bit of research, snakes are pretty floopy. Like, it doesn't really seem they have a lot. It's not easy to find their perspective, to be honest. They're just big tubes.
Well, the main thing is that is going to look like it's going up and down. Is it meant to go up and down the tree?
It's meant to be like around, like in through the grass, but doing it sideways just did not look even. It did not look even good at all. So I can also do him sideways here, like maybe like that, and give him a little bit more of a Z.
Can I make a suggestion?
Of course.
I would go grab...
He can go up a tree though. Look at him dance.
Let me find the tile. You should grab a reference tile. If you go into the props folder... Sorry, I'm trying to find the exact asset that I think you should be using. Wall top work in progress. If you track that asset down.
Wall prop.
Wall top work in progress. Should be inside of the walls section of the Demon Castle.
Wall top with WIP. Yeah. Whoops. This lad right here?
That is a good representation of the space that it would be taking up on the floor, essentially.
And this is a 32 by 16.
Yeah, I guess the trick here is when I think about a snake, I think about it being on the ground.
Oh, my snake is bigger than I expected. Is that really 32 by 16? Jeez.
That's the size of one of our tiles.
Well, I tried making my snake small, but it turned out he wasn't small.
The thing, though, is most of our stuff tends to be props that are billboarded to face the player or face the camera. And so when we have something like a slime, that makes sense. But because you're drawing this snake, it's going to end up being...
He's way bigger than I expected.
Yeah.
He's a cute bat. Maybe a new enemy.
Even then, though, because of the angle of it, it's going to be really hard to have that billboard. I'm just not sure how you would do that, actually.
Snakes kind of break your brain, don't they?
Well, because it almost feels like they should be a decal, because they should be, like, flat to the ground. But we don't really have any enemies that are, like, decal type. Everything's always a billboard.
Interesting. Well, I mean, he can be standing up. Okay, I'm going to try another idea.
But if you wanted him to go between two tiles, for example... Yeah, maybe you could do it as a billboard. I think your perspective is going to be really hard. Like, that's going to be a really difficult challenge for today.
I tried picking something easy. Why am I like this?
Well, I think if you're tackling anything brand new, like a creature, you know, animating across the ground, opposed to just like something we know, like a bush, or like animating like a tree or something, that like You're taking an object that we don't even have a still version of and trying to make an animated version of it.
Okay, the question was hypothetical.
Okay, well, my bad.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So yeah, if I just swap the ogre animation in instead of the goddess for this guard container, which is what I'm using to spawn these NPCs, I think that should just have the ogre spawn in.
Oh my god, I cannot rotate you.
And I guess that'll make more sense for now. I think I want these to be more generic infantry characters in the long run. Their walk is way more wobbly than the goddess, though. I've not really used that character a lot in outside of the one cutscene that's coming up. Whoa, what happened there? Okay, there are clearly still bugs with the enter and exit tech. And we need to fix it so that those NPCs don't spawn after the cutscene has already happened. Wow, that's super broke. Okay. I have clearly broken the enter and exit logic in trying to improve it. And I was not seeing any of this right before stream started.
You're working so hard on that too.
As is the way. Oh man, we were pretty far out in space. Let's make it so these NPCs don't spawn.
Snake has too much of a nose.
Unless this cutscene is not active. So this cutscene was Demon Castle TO2 guards. So a required flag for this spawn will have to be that this is not started. Cool. Now we should be able to enter in here, spawn that cutscene, leave, and come back, and the guards shouldn't be respawned. Yeah, okay, so they're no longer spawning here, which is good. Do I want to try and figure out what I broke with the entering and exiting? I mean, the most likely culprit is the logic we just added here. If we get rid of this player only effect,
Oh my god, it looks like he's spinning.
does that fix the weird issues we're seeing? When was the last time that you made a prop, Drixy?
It's definitely been a couple hot minutes. I'm not gonna lie. But I like to feel like I'm fairly comfortable in doing them whenever.
Okay. If you need my help re-remembering that setup, let me know.
Of course. Thank you. Oh, he's...
Okay, so we can enter, exit. Enemies aren't respawning. Okay, so whatever we just added is part of what was causing our issues, it looks like. I'm still not sure what was the initial problem that we were trying to fix, so I'll have to dig into that more, where the NPC entering broke the whole map. But I think that's probably to do with the NPC spawning in, and I can look into that in more detail off camera. I want to get into this scene because there are a number of issues with the way this setup works. Which I would like to improve. First off is that this fog does not appear until a hero takes at least one step. So when the reveal is happening, the fog is not being filled in with its like low level form. I want to see if I can find a fix for that. Oh, we're not even showing me. Okay, cool. Let's go back here. We should be able to hit play. And it should trigger this cutscene immediately. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. The fog here is not being shown. But as soon as I move forward, it's kind of doing this low-level fog. I'd like to see if I can get the reveal system to fill in the fog as it's revealing tiles. Well, that looks pretty cool.
You talking about me or you?
I'm talking about your thing.
Yeah, Snake is not going diagonal. He looks a little bit more like an earthworm. But he's cute. And it's okay. So now what I do is do here. And I'm literally just going to put him on layer over here. Bam. Wait, how... How small did you go?
Your reference screenshot might not be at the correct resolution size.
Sacrilegious. It's 640 by 360.
Oh no, that's right then.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you assisted in this shenanigan. I don't know where it's putting it. If it's actually copying it at all.
Is it spawning it like outside the map or something, or outside
I honestly can't tell, so I'm just gonna grab a single frame.
I was about to make that suggestion, but you got there first.
He's going up there.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You got it.
I may know a couple of things, but this hero doesn't know there's gonna be snakes coming his way. Sneak. Oh my goodness, he looks so good. My definition of good might be different than yours, but I'm happy with what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, the trick is, if it is a billboard, that snake will essentially be like...
I just want him like between the plant here and just like going in towards the woods, like that. Just a little shumpin', a little something.
I mean...
Honestly, it's way more detail than I wanted. Like, I want itsy bitsy, like your spectacular grass here. I think we should all just take a moment and appreciate your grass. that grass, though.
I mean, that was just meant to be a placeholder prop to represent the animation system, but sure.
It's pretty good, though. Also, why did
Yeah, but the problem with the snake is if you ever want to move more than one tile, it's going to essentially be like animating up into the air the way you're doing that.
The intention is not doing it more than one tile, though. He is way too big and loaded. He is a fully loaded lad, and we need him a little smaller.
Yeah, it's always going to be animating upwards, though, into the sky.
Flying snakes?
No. I think what you'd have to do is you'd need to make an animation where he's perfectly still, so he animates in place, and then we'd have to actually move him between two tiles. But it just like, similar to how Hero walks in place, do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, we can do that.
But if you want that to just be a like one-off animation that just like happens between two objects, like between two bushes, you just see a snake slither between them, then maybe that's fine. You'd have to experiment though to find out.
Exactly. I guess I don't want a green snake. Yellow snake? Whoa. What?
Alright, so this is the spot where we're revealing all the tiles. So if we come into here, out of curiosity, how does the move work? Like when Hero moves, all the fog updates. We do a reset fog, which is setting all the fog to low, essentially, for every revealed tile. Setting that tile's fog to a low value. And then we do a bunch of stuff in here for checking every tile to try and reveal it, but also setting the fog to medium. And then we do an apply fog, which does what exactly? Does some sort of complicated point-based apply. I don't even remember what this is doing, honestly. So I guess because these are just kind of like board instance effects, we can try just adding this to the reveal tile pattern. So we're going to loop through and try and reveal, and then we wait a few seconds before revealing the next chunk. So after we do the reveal, could we do reset fog? Was it not called reset? Set fog low. Which that value low is 0.6. That may have been edited in editor, so I'm not sure if that's exactly right. I guess for now... Oh no, it's this value. Cool. That's not a editable value, it's a kind of constant for the environmental system. Okay, cool. So if we just do this, what does that do? Does the fog fill in as each set of tiles reveal? It does not. Do we need to call the apply in order for it to actually take effect? It's possible that's what this is about. So we must set the fog, then apply. There's an unfortunate chance that this may make all the fog around Hero appear as well, because we're not actually doing the side effect part of it, to basically lower the fog near heroes' feet. It does. But this does set up the world to be in a good state, or at least a better looking state. Yeah, and then the fog starts to disappear around Hero once Hero starts moving again. Okay, so I still think that looks better, because especially on the red here, it's not entirely clear that Hero has fog around him. It's not as noticeable, whereas here, when the fog is not being added to this section, especially with the white floor, it's super noticeable. So I'm going to say that that's a temporary fix. To permanently fix this, we'll need to find a way to have Hero player's sight activate on apply. It's likely that when we do the fog reset and apply, we might want to have some internal logic for setting which tiles are visible to Hero, or maybe even better would be, instead of setting this to medium, maybe we set certain tiles to be seen, and then even when we apply it, it makes sure to set the value. Like, does each tile have its own apply? Yeah. So if each tile could be set to be seen, this could make sure to set its value of transparency right before applying. Okay, there's a real fix there, but for today I think that's fine. I really want to move on to the actual pickup cutscene and see if we can improve that. How's it going with the snake art?
He's the right size now. He's a single pixel line. Look at this little wiggle over here.
I can't see it.
Look at the little guy.
There you go.
Just a little squiggle.
I'm not loving it, but I'm going to trust the process.
Trust the process.
Alright, I want to clean up this cutscene. First and foremost, we no longer want to have the player be able to select their starting ability. We've changed this flow so that the abilities are found in the world by items that you pick up. So we need to track down where this cutscene exists. This is going to be somewhere in our design data. In here. And we're looking for sequences, cutscenes, Demon Castle TO4. I believe it is Omni Weapon. It is going to be this one. I forgot to switch back again. So it's going to be this cutscene. I'm going to check to make sure that this compiles the same object, I think. Yeah, this one's pretty complicated. I can see why I prefabbed it. I don't think that's necessary. That's a weird carryover. Does this end in transition? Yeah. This all looks right. Okay, so we're going to hit compile here. Still looking good. I'm just going to add a delay to this first one to make sure this tech is still working. It was working fine the other day, but I have not used it a lot, so I'm just going to make sure it is working, and it is. Okay, so essentially we have this prefab that we can hit compile on, and it'll turn all of these sequence mono behaviors into this one scriptable object, which is somewhat laggy with all of these pieces, whereas if they're broken up into these individual objects, they tend to be a little easier to work with when the cutscene gets a little too big. So what's happening in this one? So we have an animation for the prop. Prop 610. So I'd like to fix this. Right now, all of these props are being determined by generated names. We've since improved the system so each prop can be given a custom entity ID. So in order to make things more readable, we're going to name this Omni Weapon Display. And we should be able to go into that cutscene, and anything that is prop 610 should be able to be replaced with Omni Weapon Display. It looks like it's just the one, because the other one there is prop 610-1, which is the floating screen. These are some other props I want to give proper names to. Okay, so at the very least, if we compile this, and then I'm going to disable the initial cutscenes. Where do those live? This is the entrance. Damage tile is copy and paste carryover that can be removed. It's not going to be in here. Oh, this is going to be an intro cutscene. I don't have a good way to turn this off. I guess that's fine. We'll have to watch it each time. It's not that long.
It's so long.
You still working on the snake?
Yeah, you know what? Don't judge me.
What was
I've been
that?
wanting the snake to work for like days.
Multiple days.
Truly. You think I'm lying? Why would I lie to you?
You would not. Alright,
Exactly.
so if I hit this, it failed to find the object.
It's so bad. He's just spinning. He's just this little Christmas snake.
Because he looks like a Christmas tree in shape?
Yeah. I thought maybe I'd do like the snake squiggle, but I didn't want his head to move because I thought it'd be too crazy.
I still think the perspective is wrong. It looks like you're looking straight down at him.
It's really hard to make sure it's in pixel and have it so tiny. But like if I go like this, then it's going to feel less bad because then you see the belly. But then you see how that just fills it?
Yeah, you're right. It still feels a little bit like I'm looking...
Now it looks like it's going away.
I still feel like that looks like we're looking at it straight down instead of at a 45-degree angle.
Snakes are weird.
It's gonna be tricky.
It's not supposed to be tricky. Actually, I love it with the shading. But how thick is this lad now? Oh, he too thick. Look at this lad. He's beautiful. Maybe that's what I want.
This should have been given this name. Did I not hit save? I compiled it. It is updated. We fixed this in the Goddess Realm recently. It was just as easy as giving the entity a name, and it just worked. Okay, I think I just didn't hit save. Cool. So then in the next step is I want to give, if it'll let me see it, I want to give the other prop, the floating screen, its own name as well. And then if we go back into the cutscene, we can change prop 610_1 to floating screen. And then while we're here, we're also going to delete the open start ability screen so that that doesn't appear. Actually, I don't want to delete that screen, I don't think. Because eventually we're going to want something there. I just don't think it's going to be the ability select screen. I think I want it to be like a stats screen of some kind. I just don't know what that looks like. Like, I'm just thinking that standard anime isekai, like, you know, picture of the character or character's name, and then, like, just a list of their stats. Which in itself is just referencing old video games, but... Okay, that seems to be working. If we wanted to keep this open screen around but not use it, can I just disable it? Is the system smart enough to know that deactivated objects shouldn't be compiled? Yes, it only compiles sequence steps from objects that are active in the hierarchy. Okay, so if we just turn that off, that'll be temporary and can live there. I need to change this dialogue. Instead of saying, I guess I should make a selection. We're going to change this to, are these my stats? Cool. Why did it break? Doesn't like something I've done. Oh, I see. I need to disable that as well. Oh, and I can't just save it. I need to compile it. I feel like I could change that script, though, to have a on-save callback and compile the sequence object for me automatically. Okay, yeah, so that's now moving forward. Perfect. Let's continue renaming some of these objects. There's the doors that appear. Okay, there we go. Now they're loading in. So we want to give these doors names because we're also animating them. So we'll activate advanced parameters. This can be the left door, and then this one can be right door. Hit caps lock, fun. Okay, then if we go back into our cutscene, we want to do left door and right door, animate, interesting. We have these doors animating, doing animation 2 into animation 1. How do these doors work? Animation 1 is the door opening, and then animation 2 is just a loop of the door remaining open. It looks like we automatically go from animation 1 to animation 2. I think the trigger animation 2 might be old code that we no longer need. Yeah, it goes to this one, which is just it open. That doesn't. It really doesn't make any sense because we're essentially doing. Oh, you know what it might be is that we have to set the bool to be true so it stays in this animation. That's what we're doing. Sure. Okay. And the last thing we need to do is the flame circle, which is going to be on one of these tiles. This one. We want to give this a name. Flame circle. And we're going to activate the animations on this object, which is the same thing we do when we send the character out of the goddess realm. And I'm wondering if there's a way that we can make this sequence reusable. For now, this will be fine. I don't foresee another spot where we'll need this animation, so. So for just to go back over here to this snake animation.
Oh my gosh, don't even look at me right now.
Well, you've been up the whole time, so.
I'm sorry. It's been very fun. I'm not going to lie.
But so what is your intent? You want to have this thing basically animate like...
I just want a small bit of motion in here. I was going to do them as this is the last like attempt at a forward moving snake, and then go on to like a little birds or something. I just want like a little bit more motion in the trees.
Okay. But then is the intent then that you want this to move between tiles, like just slither like across the path in front of Hero, like as you're walking along?
Yeah, it doesn't even have to like actually move across tiles, but like give it the perception of movement. It could just stay on one tile.
But see, if it just stays on one tile though, you're just going to see this thing wiggle and then disappear.
Well, from one... Why is this? Oh, this... I like to see it go from... Where's my smallest snake? So from here to like literally disappear in here. Like, doop.
So you do want it to move between tiles then?
But it could be within the boundaries of one tile.
Hmm.
And that way we don't need to do anything crazy. We don't have anything that goes between tiles right now, right?
I mean, I can build a system for it, but like...
Zoop.
Essentially, I think what it would be is basically an NPC that has like a script on it that's telling it to like every so often spawn in, move between these tiles, and then despawn.
Yeah.
And I could even set it up so it has a randomization between a couple of different scripts, so it could like spawn in on this tile and move to here, and then after so many steps from Hero, it like spawns in somewhere else and then moves across the screen.
Exactly. I still think this snake is my best snake. He looks like he's actually moving.
Yeah, I agree. And we should be able to take that and make it static so it sits in one spot, and then I can animate it in the engine.
Yeah, and just make him move. I can't move him while he's moving.
Yeah, because I don't think if you try and make it like a prop, I don't think it's going to work. I think it has to essentially be an NPC.
Okay.
With like a little script on it. In the same way that I was talking about recently, when we get to like the town stuff, I want to have like villagers walking around and like, you know, picking stuff up from like, you know, apple carts and like putting the apple back down and then walking off. I think this is the same system or the same tech that I'll be needing for that anyways.
Okay, so we already have the tech required, so.
Well, we don't have the tech.
We
will have it at some point, yes. Because I want to have this type of motion eventually anyways, so.
Cool. But that's what I want. I just want more action.
So what is like done for you on this then?
Honestly, I didn't want to work too hard on it. I've already put too much time on this. I think I'm done here.
So I think if that's the one you like the most out of all the variations, yeah, I would say maybe we clean that up, and then I will try and find a way to make it move around in the actual engine.
Sure.
I'll need to like take your concept also and like bring it down to be a single tile, but I can do that.
Wait, is he different than this one? Oh, I messed around on that. Oh, a small snake squiggy. Yeah, he's just a good lad. I like this lad. Squiggy is the win. Small snake squiggy. I should probably do real stuff now. Snake was a warm-up. That took me too long.
I mean, it's a good warm-up.
Honestly. Where am I? I'm in dungeons.
We have broken something.
That's pretty standard.
It turns out to be
Unfortunate.
sometimes. Something with the animation parameters are broken again. This should be using Flame Circle. It's right when we're about to leave. The Flame Circle is now animating, but Hero didn't disappear. That's so weird. I'm gonna just make sure I've saved everything multiple times. We're gonna come in here, we're gonna make sure to compile. Oh, is this the pause bug again?
Oh, I hope not.
I think this needs to be a capital P. For whatever reason, that's case sensitive, and I should make it so it's not. But for whatever, I think when I compile the prefab, it like changes that to be all lowercase for some reason. And I'm not entirely sure why.
I thought I had my other crystal. It is gone.
Oh, the animation failures are actually on the intro cutscene. Yeah, that's what it was.
Hey, Tori, we like this crystal, right?
Let's see. Yeah, I think that was the crystal that I think was looking to be about the right size for the drop we should have from our monsters and enemies. I think it'll...
This is the lad right here.
Yeah,
I think it's great. It was either that one or I like this one.
That one I think was really big though.
Oh. I can make it smaller. Oops. Oh.
Yeah.
Whoops. How'd that happen? So it looks like a good ice chunk.
I mean, you could try shrinking that one down. My thought here though is I want to spawn these props, and then when the slime or enemies like shrink away and disappear, this item's left behind them. So ideally it should be smaller than a small slime,
No, I like the empty crystal we have more. I think we nailed it with this one.
Yeah, the trick now is we'll need different variations of it, I think.
No trick, that is colors. Colors are my friend.
Yes, yeah.
I do enjoy a good occasional color.
Alright, let's see if we can figure out what's going on here with this animation parameter. I think that's because somewhere in here, this is doing animation... Yeah, now this needs to be Omni Weapon Display because we've renamed it. Omni Weapon Display. And then there's another anim here.
Do we still need an empty one? We got defense, strength, HP, magic, magic defense, special, speed, luck, ability nodes of stagger, power, and multiplier. Let's call this white one multiplier.
Did I get the name wrong? Omni Weapon Display. Oh, I bet you I didn't compile it. Yeah, that looks right. That looks right. Compile. And that should have all the props in this room renamed to use the new kind of better prop naming system that we've come up with since we last edited this cutscene. Okay. Next, I want to change out the dialogue in here. We have some updated dialogue for this, so we're going to come into this section of the dialogue, and we're going to bring up the dialogue page over here. Oh, wrong one. Nope. Here we go. And then, let's see, for the intro, what if floating screen remains the same? This one gets a little bit of an update. This is fine, this is fine. This remains the same for the time being. This should be better. And then this is the response to that new line. And then we want a new inserted dialogue here. Am I missing? Oh, I skipped one. No, that's right. If you think yourself... Okay. We get this line, and then I want to add a couple more in between here, but I think this is where things change up. I want to break this cutscene into two halves now. So we're going to have the ogre say this, and that'll be the end of this cutscene. And we're going to duplicate this Omni Weapon prefab so we can keep a backup of it. And we're going to remove I think most of this we're gonna have the ogre appear, And we use a move to tile, but we have a better version now, which is cutscene navigate to tile. We should be using this, and we'll replace this old version with this slightly better one. Because this actually uses the proper move logic of the unit. We just need to make sure the ogre container has a move ability hooked up to it. This one. It does. It has this move ability. Okay, cool. So then, with that being the case, this is the ogre moving to 714. What part is that? That's moving here. Okay, and then we go to 2 lines of dialogue, which I'm gonna guess is the last 2 lines I want. Floating screen, a human in Demon Lord's castle, thief. Okay, yeah, no, it's not the last 2 lines. We have, that's gonna be the thief line, and then here the ogre moves to 711. We'll have that be a cutscene navigate to tile instead. I think in general I want to eventually remove all move to tiles. Well, I guess not entirely. Here we have hero getting shoved. So I guess the move to is still useful for when we want to animate a character outside of a normal move, or move the character to a tile with an animation that isn't a normal move animation. But if we are just walking, I think we should be using the navigate to tile instead. How goes the art stuff? Working on a couple of different crystal colors?
Yeah. It's interesting, honestly, because like I was just throwing some hard colors in here and I'm like, oh, this is great. But when I put it in, the colors were just too much. So like these ones on the top are very soft, or the most desaturated all my palette, and those look like crystals. These guys, they don't look like crystals. They look like painted rocks. So I'm gonna be more cautious with my colors than I expected. What's your thoughts?
I think they might be a little big still.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't really have more feedback than that, but like I agree the colors need to be kind of correct. But it might be fine because we don't want them to be too small.
Itty bitty lad? He's in your grass.
Honestly, I kind of like that a little bit more.
He's a chebe. I mean, that's not hard. I can do that.
But I almost wonder if they need some sort of like outline around them or something to help them make them pop, because I feel like they're just not reading very well. But I know we don't tend to do outlines for a lot of our
We can give them a shadow.
props. Yeah, maybe it needs a shadow. Like,
Shadows, when in doubt, shadow. You remember what shade we are doing a regular shadow right now?
I can find out.
Like that.
It looks like our current shadow is pure black.
Oh. That's not good.
Yeah, well, you can just use our lowest level color in our palette. I think that'll be fine.
Which is in fact black.
I think we're using
I'll do second last.
We're using pure black partly because it's a transparent too, so it shows a little bit below. So it won't ever be in the palette because it's mixing.
Alright, what shadow do you like?
Let me go back to full screen for you. The left one?
This guy? The subtle one?
Yeah.
That guy. I moved that 1 pixel. I don't really know how about this pixel. You stop going into that corner. You're so far away. Thank you. Ah! This is a little bit of a pop.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
This is one lucky hero. He has to fight off a lot of snakes, but then there's lots of crystal drops. That looks like a video game. Okay.
Okay, so over here, I think we're gonna get rid of the kick. I think we're gonna get rid of almost all of this for the time being. We may end up adding some of this back, which is why I made a backup of it. But yeah, all of this can go. So now this should end with we need to open up the dialogues to see floating screen. Yeah, the dialogue doesn't quite work anymore. I think we need to do this. So we're gonna have the ogre move into the screen, yell, move towards hero. The player's going to face the demon lord, and the demon lord's going to taunt hero. Okay, let's see if that works. And then the cutscene will end, but I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to have kind of like a combat start of some kind. Widen this a little bit so we can see more of the full screen. Oh, interesting. Navigate to tile isn't working. What did I break? Range override of -1 means it should move all the way to that position. And it's trying to move to tile 711, which should be this one here right next to hero. Is it something to do with the default range of the ogre NPC that the movement system cares about? Take a look at movement. No, default range is 50 for both the walk and the push ability. Interesting. So move to tile works, but navigate to tile doesn't. I'm going to double check to make sure this is all set up correctly. Same setup. And this move definitely does work. Out of curiosity, if we do a position for each tile, does the movement work then? Shouldn't have to do that, but try and get a better understanding. Nope, still fails. Oh, we have an error. I didn't notice that. Oh, interesting. It is because the Ogre NPC is spotting the player and then trying to enter into combat, but it doesn't have a faux state machine, aka it's not an actual fightable creature, and so it can't find that component. So that's going to be because of this move. Yeah, this move is an AI move that does a bunch of sight stuff. So because we're using the actual navigation system and the proper movement to move the character, we get all the benefits, which I do want, but we also get the extra, like, spotting of the enemy tech, which is breaking. We should be able to do a check on the attacker unit, which will be the ogre in this context, and see whether or not get component alliance dot type is equal to alliance dot enemy. So only if you are an enemy type and the unit you're spotting is a hero, do you try and spot them. I don't know if that's a perfect setup for that, but should work fine. Realistically, I think I do want to make the ogre an actual, like, enemy unit. In the long term, simply because I think that it needs to be fightable in some regards. And there's kind of two options. I can either make it a fightable enemy and, like, just do, like, a mock combat scene here, or we don't let it be fightable in, like, a normal combat sense, but we have, like, a mock cutscene battle where I just make you perform the punch ability and the enemy doesn't really get hit, but it causes the cutscene to progress. I think I messed up some of the dialogue, but that code fix has got us past that problem. In here for the Omni weapon dialogue, let's go to this inspector. Easier to read here. We have ogre, hero, bottom, top center. This should be top center. This one can stay open. No, closed self, this one can stay open. So Ogre will say this line, it'll stay open, then it'll read this dialogue line. This one can also stay open, and then I'll change this to close all. So hero says floating screen stays open. My stats seem low, closes itself. Hero Ogre comes in, says a human in the Demon Lord's castle, stays open. The Omni weapon is gone. Thief, close self. The Ogre moves towards Hero. Hero faces the Ogre, says this line stays open. Ogre responds, stays open, and then the Ogre says one more line and then closes all. And then I'm going to have combat start. Okay, let's see if that's working now. That should be better set up. Now the combat start part is going to be interesting because I don't think I want the player to be able to move. Normally you can, but for this kind of tutorial cutscene, I feel like I want to force the player to hit like the A button. To just do a basic attack. Yeah, at this point, the cutscene's over, and we can move freely. So we need to enter into... Yeah, it's really two options. We either do a actual combat scene in which we disable the player's movement just for the sake of this fight. We bring up the ability system. We have the player perform an ability. Or we just do it all fake, and we just bring up the UI, we prompt the player to hit the button, but they're not actually performing the action. It's just waiting for the player's A button input, and then once that's pressed, the cutscene continues. Yeah, it might be easier just to fake it. Let's go take a look at how we trigger the UI to appear normally. That's part of... the sword pickup? Yeah, we set an ability tutorial flag. Okay. This would make the UI appear. We need to set a new ability. Set up a new ability. Let's do that. While I think about the ramifications of stuff.
I made rocks.
And by rocks you mean crystals?
Yeah.
Let me switch over to your perspective. Or full screen version at least. Well, that's a lot of crystals.
Yeah, it's a lot of crystals. Am I happy with all of them? No.
I think they should work for now. Just as like little random pickups from
For
the enemy.
sure. And I guess you'll find out which ones are which later on, but I think too many of them are too similar. I can't even tell the difference. I think I copied this one twice. Like I can't even tell. Yeah, HP and I thought it was HP and power are identical. Which flavor should power be? I don't really have a bright yellow one. Yellow's contrast is blue. And then we'll do maybe There we go. I do think the shadow needs to be a little bit more.
You just want to make it a little taller.
Yeah. And then it would look like that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. What's weird about your shadow is it's actually against our light green. Or not light green, I don't know why, but like, yeah, like the direction of our light is what I'm trying to say. Because technically the light pushes to the opposite side of where the crystals are, but then you wouldn't see it at all. But I guess what you're doing makes sense if it's like blocking some of the sun, if it's like very round.
Let's go like that. But it doesn't look natural.
But like the shadow is behind it, the way that our shadows cast. So like you would want it to be narrow. Like I think what you're doing is fine, but the one on the left, for example, doesn't make as much sense to me.
It will still make a small shadow because it's on top, right?
No, for sure, but I don't think it should be like 2 pixels tall. I think one pixel of shadow underneath it is fine.
And then like a little bit more of a length. Well, these are gonna be billboards, right? Or props. So they're gonna have their own shadow.
They will be billboards, so they will cast a little shadow, honestly, on their own.
So maybe we don't need this?
You need to bring it in, honestly. That's going to be your biggest way of telling what's happening.
All right.
You'd need to make one of these into an actual prop and then bring it into the engine.
I guess I need to center it.
Ideally.
Yeah. We don't want odd numbers. 6 by 10 it is.
Okay, I am creating a new ability, which we're going to call Punch.
Punch. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't close. You son of a gun. Oh, which one did I grab?
Yeah, so we're gonna make a new ability called Punch, which is gonna be ID Punch, I name Punch. Parent ability will be Slash, which honestly shouldn't matter, but I'm gonna set it up just so that we don't run into any errors. It'll have this as its prefab, which I'll create here in a second, and we'll give it a low power and low stagger because this will be a really weak ability just for the beginning until you actually unlock Slash. Okay, so I'm gonna download that as a TSV. Design data, TSV files, ability, save that.
Right.
And then we're going to come into here and we're going to parse that, parse abilities, and then we should be able to see in our JSON file that punch exists. Ability, design data. File is too long. Yes, okay, so punch exists. Good. Now we need to make a actual ability for it. So we'll copy Slash, name this Punch. It's going to do all the same things except for it is not going to grant any experience So no experience functionality will exist. So that's all of this stuff. Same with if it misses. None of this gets hit. A little concerned to remove everything. Like some of these stagger adjusters probably shouldn't matter. But we're going to leave as much in here as we can. Okay, get rid of all that experience granting. We'll keep it at the same CT of 3. And it will still be a low ability. Change its name to Punch.
Oops.
And then for its animation, instead of doing the slash animation, what other animations does Hero have by default? What is fight? Actually, this is going to be easier in A Sprite.
Because A Sprite is the best.
Perfect. Melee 1 is what I'm looking for. So then we will play animation Melee 1. We will need to make sure that Melee 1 has some pause times set up. There is a pause frame here, but I think in the new system we also need one at the very beginning. We do. Okay, so we're gonna go back to A Sprite, and we're gonna look at the slash attack. Bash will work. Cell properties. This one has no data. This one has pause. Okay. So we need to add to the very first frame of Melee a pause data, and it looks like it's lowercase here. Okay, and then we will re-export this. Yeah, that all looks right. Going to the same folder, same PNG, same JSON, array type, export. That'll take a second because it's a lot. And then we can come in here. Oh, we can just do it down here now. Character tool, slice and anim character. So this will regenerate the whole hero animations. Never done this with this open before. I don't know if this is going to break. There's a lot of animations. Okay, that looks fine there. So then if we go check Melee 1, it now has a pause frame. Cool. So then we should be able to come into here. We're going to just rename this to Melee 1 for clarity. Doesn't matter what the object's name is. But yeah, this should now do Melee 1 and it should wind up to do the attack, charge, and then punch. So it'll hold on this first frame here, which doesn't have much anticipation. We may want to modify this, but that's okay. Also going to save the A-Sprite file and move it off to one side. Cool. What are you working on now?
I'm going back to maps.
How many maps do you have?
We have a lot left.
Yeah?
Yeah, you made a lot of maps.
I did make a lot of maps, much to your chagrin.
My chagrin has been grinned.
Okay, so this should be a punch ability. We need to give it the... We need to give the ability a addressable ID. That's the right one. This is our formatting. This should match what we put into our TSV. It does. Perfect. And then we should just be able to add these two pieces. So we need an unlock ability and set flag ability tutorial to complete. We will need both of these. So if we come into Omni Weapon, at the end of this should be fine. Actually, we can just duplicate this. Combat. Let's clear these out. Combat. Backend. Set flag status. Ability tutorial completed. Cool. And then backend unlockability. Yes, found it. And this will be punch. So then if we compile this into our Omni Weapon object, we should see that this is now at the bottom here. Good. We should unlock the UI and have the punch ability now at the end of this cutscene. And I still need to decide, am I actually going to have a real combat scenario that's happening here? Or are we just going to fake combat and ask you to hit the punch ability and then have the cutscene continue after that? I feel like having it be a real combat scene will be easier in the long run than trying to fake it. Oh, something broke. Oh, okay, fair. So we need to assign the new ability some skill tree. Even though you will never see this skill tree, it needs the data to be assigned to something valid. I could rewrite the code to not break in that way, but it's...
It sounds like more work than's worth.
Yeah, it's just going to be easier if we just go into the skills screen and quickly copy one.
Did we see a hydrate? We got our hydrate. I wasn't paying attention. I am so sorry, Unlockable.
No, I got it.
Oh, well, I guess I'm the last at the hydrate party.
No, I see it. Sorry. I'm gonna go get water. All right, returned.
Woo-woo-woo.
All right, so then if we go into the skill screen, we should just be able to come in here, load the slash ability. That's the slash tree. Then we're going to switch to punch, and we're going to save ability data. Is that right? I think it should be. And then if we go back to, say, bash, load ability, and then go to punch, it should load back up this one, and it does. Perfect. Okay, so now that has proper skill tree data, we should be able to see punch actually be shown, hopefully. Okay, first cutscene. Let's zoom in here. Interact. Door opens. Ogre comes through. Ogre runs up to us. That feels like it's happening too soon. Yeah, something's breaking in a weird way. We should be continuing with the dialogue until we see the ogre say fight me, and then the ability should be appearing. Just gonna take a look at the actual sequence. Oh yeah, we're missing 2 pieces of dialogue here. Oh, not that many. I thought I had made that change, but maybe I accidentally reverted it at some point. Okay, so it was triggering at the right time. Just a little weird that that dialogue is staying up. Oh, it was staying up because we didn't have the last ones that should be closing it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because the technically Hero's dialogue stays up, and then the Ogre's dialogue, the final one, is the one that closes everything. So because we never reached that, because we didn't have enough dialogues queued up, it broke in a weird way. Cool. But this should fix it, just having the correct number. Okay, so this has appeared, but we actually don't see punch on this list. And then we can move freely. And it is failing because it is trying to display some information and not finding what it needs. Why? Oh, because we set the parent to be slash, but we haven't unlocked slash yet. And so the system is trying to reference slash. What is trying to reference it? It's the UI? Yeah, there's a component that we have disabled currently, but it is still refreshing and trying to update a fill bar with how much experience you have. And by doing that, it's having to request the parent's experience. Somewhere in here. this one, right? Yeah. So even though we don't display the actual fill bar anymore, it's been disabled, we still have the original component. I think for the time being, I'm just going to remove this component. Could I check the object to see if the object is enabled? Oh, interesting. It normally toggles itself off and on based off of that behavior. Okay. I am going to remove this UI component for the time being because it is currently disabled. And I'm curious if that fixes things. Okay. So we have to move at least once for the UI to update for some reason, which I don't think we have to do that when slash appears. So that's a little odd. But once we've moved around, punch does appear, and if we override it, we can see that it is usable, and it does play that animation. A little weird that it does the like slide back and attack, which makes sense for like the sword and the bash.
Slower.
Don't call me out. But I feel like...
I'm here for the people.
I think this is fine. I may want to disable the sliding tech, but... Okay, so we can actually perform that attack. So... I'm at the impasse. I have to decide. Do we fake combat, or do we actually have a real combat scenario?
Real combat.
Okay. So if that's the case, we need to replace the ogre with an actual combatant. Right now it is just an NPC model, but we're going to need to replace the ogre with a real enemy that is set up to actually be fightable. We're also going to need to like essentially make it blind so it doesn't trigger combat when it sees hero, but instead I can say when combat starts through the cutscene, which will need to be a new sequence step. But that shouldn't be too difficult to just have one that says combat state machine, initiate combat. And maybe find a specific enemy by name and, you know, have it spot the player immediately. So let's start by making a new enemy. Let's look for the slime as a base. We're going to give the... Actually, let's use the boar as a base. And then we're going to do ogre. We're going to come into here and we're going to swap out its model, or more accurately, its animation, from boar to ogre. We're going to have it only have one attack pattern, which will be smash. Smash will use the smash ability, and it will have a CT of, let's say, 9. So you can hit this ogre 3 times before it finally attacks you. Red crystal is fine. Min at max range. This is all okay. Is stationary. Cool. I think we probably want to replace this AI smash with some sort of special ability that's going to like continue the cutscene, I think. But let's at least get the enemy to be fightable first, and then we'll figure out how the cutscene continues after that. So now, instead of using Ogre Spawn to spawn an NPC, we're going to need this to spawn an enemy. Let's go take a look at this scene, F7, and grab this enemy spawner. We're going to go back into this room, and we will paste this in here, and put this under here. What do we normally name this? Not that it really matters too much. Oh, we don't even have it under a group here. Great. So it just exists. So this can go over here.
Oh my god.
And then this enemy spawn will spawn the ogre, which we need to give an addressable ID to. So somewhere here, yeah. Ogre, addressable IT. Oh, underscore. Ogre. Okay, that goes there. Any default information that we want? Facing south, it looks like. The ID was ogre. We'll make that the same. For the patrol path, I'm going to set that to 7:15 and 7:15. We probably want this to be a theatrical enemy, similar to how we were setting up this boar before. How did we do that? We had an ability script. Yeah. I think I want it to be in the theatrical state.
Oh shoot, there's
Mostly so that it doesn't enter into combat, because I think if we're in this state, it shouldn't spot the player as we're moving it around. Oh, you don't even have to change this either. It just goes directly on the spawner. So we give this the theatrical state. We can put that in here, so ability script. And we will just give it a single action, which is to do playful attack at 99.
Is the ogre? Sorry, is it playful attack?
No, well, this is something we used for the boar as like kind of just a very simple ability. I don't even want it to perform this. I just want it to be in the theatrical state. And so by giving it one action that'll never execute, that'll work. Kind of hacky, but I just want to get it up and running and working and then go from there.
I just think it's really funny. It's called playful attack. There's nothing playful about our ogre.
Well,
He just goes smash.
That's the same as the boar, honestly. The boar is also just like really aggressive, but another hydrate. Okay, so immediate problems. The combat state machine component which is a type of UI component, is trying to get some information about the ogre and failing. Oh, this was our UI for the what we were trying a kind of like turn order UI display.
Oh, this information back then?
Yeah.
Seems like years ago.
Yeah, I'd like to keep this operational because right now it's just disabled, but technically it should be still functional if we ever wanted to try working towards this prototype again. But why did it complain and out of bounds? Transform child out of bounds. So it tried to find a transform that doesn't exist. Interesting. Super interesting. We've never seen this problem before. It's part of the decide next action. What is... It's posting a notification that the new attack is set. Yeah, and then this component system hears that there's a new unit turn order, and it's trying to update this UI that we're currently not showing. But turns parent, whatever that a game object is, we're trying to get a child at that CT. And we want to refresh that child component. Okay, that seems fine, so why is this broken? Oh, because we made the CT too high. And it doesn't know what to do with that. It's like, it's too many children components down, and it just doesn't exist. So I guess there's some sort of like theoretical limit on how high we can go with our CT numbers based off of that UI system that I just haven't hit before. So if we set it to 10, for my purposes, that should mostly be the same. Yeah, and it looks like it's not breaking now. Let's see what happens. Yeah, no errors. Okay. We do get a tiny little health bar underneath the enemy that is spawned in the wall at the very beginning,
Lol.
which gives away.
Oh, is this
their
guy gonna need a
position.
boss bar? Even though he's like not actual battle?
No, I don't think so. Oh, that's funny. The CT... Okay, so he is technically spawned in also, which means he is doing the playful attack every 9 tiles moved. So if you just spend enough time walking around in here, he will trigger that theatrical ability regardless. Okay. That's fine. So, again, I mostly just want to see if we can get this enemy to trigger combat. And also make sure that our current system still works. And it looks like the cutscene does break because it cannot find the ogre component. So at the topmost level, we should have an entity ID. I am not seeing it. I'm going to switch to this one. There should be an entity component attached to this, which is called Ogre. No. Do only NPCs get entity IDs? Huh. Let's go take a look at the NPC state. Yeah, we initialize an entity component onto an NPC, but for an AI state, we don't do that. I don't see a reason why we shouldn't. Yeah, it looks like the existing entity on the dungeon enemy spawners was primarily used as part of our spawn logic for giving the state machine an ID associated with it, but we didn't actually build an entity ID on it or build an entity component. Okay, so then if we take a look at the NPC, where is this supposed to be? This thing, cool. So this should add the appropriate entity components and give them the correct IDs so that our cutscene should still work with this enemy opposed to an NPC. I believe we should be able to move the enemy around the same way we are the player and the NPCs, but we'll find out real quick here. I think long term, I'd like to just compress the NPC and the enemies into like one object and just have like their alliance type determine whether or not they're going to be friendly or aggressive, so that everything works basically the same. But for today, we will do a little bit of hacking just to get it up and running and see if this is even how we want to do this. No, still broken. Still failing to find the entity ID. So then if we take another look at this in the scene, this object should have an entity ID, which is ogre.19, which is not correct. And then I'm going to guess that the actual top root object is also ogre.19_container. Okay. Is that because this thing gets its sibling index added to it? I'm going to disable that. That's normally helpful for when we want to identify different enemies if we have multiples of them, because we want to give them unique names. But in this context, we're only ever going to have this one enemy here for this cutscene, and so it doesn't need a unique identifier associated with it. Okay, enemies moving. We also have the dialogue anchoring correctly to the ogre. We have some bad references with the attack pattern, that's fine. Okay, and then the enemy immediately tries to do the playful attack because it had been queued up during its movement. Yeah, and then now we can do a couple of very simple punches. Something broke, but otherwise that was working. Oh, it's probably trying to play an animation that doesn't exist. Interestingly, combat also starts as the ogre approaches, which is kind of useful. Yeah. So it doesn't break normally because it's not finding a target, and so it just doesn't do anything with the playful attack. But in this situation where Hero is actually standing in front of the ogre, it is triggering its actual attempt to use the ability, and it's trying to play an animation that this character doesn't have. Okay, so then does this character have any animations associated with it that we could use? I know it has the kick at the very least. Has kick and bash. So mostly for fun, if we go find playful and we give this create a new one, which will be ogre kick attack. We'll need to give this an addressable ID of this format for consistency. Kick attack. And then inside of here, instead of doing the melee, should just be able to do kick as its attack. Now what's funny is this playful attack auto triggers parry, so it's going to look like Hero's amazing, but we will find a way to change this up to be less in Hero's favor, is what I'll say. I think realistically the ogre should basically do what we were doing in the cutscene, which is the ogre should kick Hero, knock Hero away, and once that happens, it should enter into like a scripted sequence again, essentially a second cutscene that will start playing, where the ogre will then perform some attacks. That doesn't... Oh, we need to actually change the script. So inside of the enemy spawner, instead of trying to do playful attack, try doing this ogre kick instead every 10 CT. Cool. We are at the 2-hour mark, Drixy. How are you doing?
I have done so many maps.
Oh yeah?
I am a little tired of maps.
Ready to take a break from maps and work on other things for the time being?
I am, but they have to get done, so I'm trying to truck through.
How many more do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
I've been able to do 4.
Have you checked any of them in their actual, like, in-screen, like in the actual Unity project to see
No, I have not.
Okay.
I would like to. Well, I'm just rapid firing them out at the moment.
That's fair. Getting a first pass in on all of them, and then we can refine
they all
later.
need a secondary pass to be like, oh, what does this map actually mean? And plus, a lot of it is, this is just floor. Like, I've tried doing flowers and stuff like that, and most of them turn out to be, needed to be props or billboards instead, so I'm just really trying to focus on just dirt and leaf.
That's fair.
Keep it real simple.
Okay, I think, I'm going to switch back over here. We're going to show this cutscene one last time. I'm going to continue working on this off camera, but I think we are going to call it for today. I will be back tomorrow on stream from 2 to 4 and then 6 to 8, our standard Sunday time, and we will be continuing to stream for the next 3 weeks. This will be close to the end of the first week I have off. I'm on vacation for 4 weeks from work, where I get to kind of, well, I want to work on this basically the whole time.
So is it really off work?
Well, I get to work on my personal project, which is very exciting for me. So we'll be back tomorrow from 2 to 4, or from 2 to 4, and then from 6 to 8. And then I haven't made up the schedule for next week, but I'll be streaming 4 or 5 more days next week, and then I go back to work on January 19th, which is a little over 3 weeks from now. Hopefully we can get chapter 1 done, but honestly we're still just working kind of through this prologue section. We haven't even gotten into the forest area for cutscenes yet, but I think it's going to come together a lot more quickly once we've kind of solved some of these early problems.
You just keep showing up, all these bugs.
Yeah.
Like someone called a Terminator.
So yeah, so this is the ogre is now hitting us. It's doing this kind of theatrical kick, but I realized we're actually entering into combat at some point when the ogre spots us, and then the ogre starts using whatever smash was, which is also an animation it doesn't have. So I'm gonna have to either have it so we never enter into like combat, and we just use the theatrical script to get us through, or we need to modify its attacks and make it so that it will do its attacks in a specific order. Either way, though, I'll probably work on that off camera, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to get past this and into some of the initial forest cutscenes and start working our way through some of these areas, and eventually be able to start gaining abilities, fighting stuff, leveling up, and start introducing some of the combat progression in here. But I just want to get all the cutscenes.
It's gonna be a video game.
Well, it's going to be a video games hopefully by January 19th, but we will see. We're going to call it here. I've already done the outro stuff.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you for the follow, Deshawn. And for now, this is going to be Tolhi signing out. Later,
And
folks.
Drixy.
And Drixy signing out.
Yeah.
Oh, last thing, we're probably going to do another Drixy art stream next Saturday, same time.
Oh my goodness, it's me.
All
I'm
right.
the artist.